A Kiwi-born neo-Nazi is...
Oh,
They are.
why did he have to be ours?
They're talking about sending him back to New Zealand. I mean, the immigration lawyers and stuff have got involved, and they don't reckon they can do it because he's actually, I think, an Australian citizen. But yeah, we featured him a couple of nights ago, didn't we? With what was going on over in Sydney for the Munch. Is it Munch for America or something? Something like that. I can't remember exactly. So let's see what
his too big mustache.
Let's have a look.
A New Zealand-born self-proclaimed neo-Nazi leader has been arrested in Melbourne and spent the night behind bars after an alleged assault at an Aboriginal burial site over the weekend.
This, by the way, I don't think we have to quite go trigger warning, but the reason I'm showing you the three option and not the one, because I saw them both, is that there is footage of what they did at the Aboriginal protest. And it's not like blood and guts violence, but it's pretty violent. Just giving you a heads up if you're a particularly sensitive person.
Thomas Sewell left New Zealand as a young child, and calls for him to be deported from Australia are growing. Imogen Wells has more.
You don't have to put your hands on me. Shouldn't we have the right to speak in our country, you coward?
32.
As he's shouting words whilst he's in his own country. Shouldn't we have the right to speak in our own country as you are speaking in your own country with television cameras on you? You fuck knuckle.
You don't have to put your hands on me. Shouldn't we have the right to speak in our country, you coward?
32-year-old neo-Nazi leader Thomas Sewell gate-crashing a press conference on Tuesday with Victorian Premier Jacinta Allen as she talked about convening an anti-hate task force in the wake of anti-immigration protests led by Sewell over the weekend.
I think Australians should have the right to protest. Shouldn't we have the right to speak in our country, you coward? Have your goons attacked me? Don't put your hands on me. That was a coincidence. We're on our way to court right now.
This is beautiful, by the way. He was on his way to court. Yet something happened to him when he left court, which was quite delightful.
To face charges relating to intimidating a police officer back in November last year. But he walked out of one case straight into another.
Walked out of court, got arrested.
What happens in the tyranny of Victoria?
This is what happens when you commit crimes on camera. When you violently assault people, this is what happens.
You're under arrest for defending yourself.
Sewell was arrested, charged and taken into custody moments after walking out of court for allegedly assaulting people during this violent attack on Sunday.
So remember, he just described this as defending yourself. This is what happens when you defend yourself. This is him defending himself, just so we're clear.
For allegedly assaulting people during this violent attack on Sunday.
This is disturbing.
A group of around 40 white nationalists storming Camp Sovereignty, an Indigenous gathering place and burial site. 4 people were injured.
I was there screaming on the megaphone, "Get off her, get off her." They stormed us. It was a war front.
The Australian Prime Minister condemning the group's actions.
Here you have people who are saying they're against migration. Well, the first Australians were here before any migrant or descendant of migrants, and that just has no place. That sort of violence has no place.
Before the attack, the group held a March for Australia rally in Melbourne CBD, where they clashed with pro-Palestine marchers. Punches were thrown, flags were burnt, people spat at one another.
We don't have a nation at the moment. We've got a halfway house for the world.
Sewell's called Australia home since his family migrated there in the early 1990s.
So this is the thing, right? This is with all the 501 deportees. This is what I reckon. This walking piece of human excrement is a product of Australia. Yep, might have been born here, fine, but he is a product of Australia. He's been there since he was a young child. He is who he is because of Australia, because of being in Australia, associating with the Australians he's associating with. That is why he is here. He is not a product of New Zealand, which is why I have such a huge problem with the 501 deportees who have been in Australia since they were 6 months old, and they just come back. They know nothing of New Zealand, and you're just basically farming it off. If this person is a product of your society, then your society should need to deal with them.
Oh, it gets better, Pat. It gets better. His family history is Afrikaner.
Of course it is.
So yeah, I don't know how you solve a problem like this guy. Like him interrupting that press conference. One of the things that jumps out at me is he said, "You don't put your hands on me." Him and his goons are quite happy to put their hands on other people, and he did the typical fucking neo-Nazi bully boy tactic when he attacked that campsite. He went from an anti-immigration rally to then attack and saying it's not about race, it's about immigrants, to then attacking Aboriginal woman at a peaceful camp.
Like every brave person should.
Yeah, these guys are bullies. And like a lot of bullies, you have to stand up to them. And I think this is one of the ugly truths of an organisation like this. They're not going to respond to words. They're not going to respond to, the law coming after them. They'll wear it as a badge of honour.
Yeah.
And I think over in Melbourne at the moment, knowing that these guys are around, are quite happy to rally almost 100 people for a march in the middle of the night, that they can scramble up 40 people to attack that encampment at the drop of a hat, that they now feel that they have all of these people. Like we said, these guys didn't come down for this rally because they were supporting Nazi ideals. They were just coming down for other reasons. It might be adjacent to white Australia. It might be some concerns over housing because they feel like immigrants are coming to take them. But they feel, this hardcore group of Nazis now feel that all of these people with the flag support them. They are gassed up. And I think anybody that goes to stand up to these guys should go with the expectation that it will end up in violence. And by that, I mean protect yourselves.
The other thing about this kind of rally is, I put this up on a few places today, and some people going, well, I know people who were there and he was booed. It's like, even if this wasn't representative, his extreme views weren't representative of 99% of the people there. Maybe him speaking there might attract another few hundred people. Like you always say, Chewie, when you go into the bar, the penny might drop for a few. Oh, that's not okay, and then all of a sudden there's not 40 rushing, there's 400 next time, because through this normalizing of it, you're able to then influence more people, pull them in, like any cult, pull them in with the equivalent. I don't know what the Nazi equivalent is of love bombing is. Probably hating dark skinning or something. And then it just grows, and then all of a sudden it's the issue is not the issue are the migrants, but what about the British ones over there? Oh, they're not really the migrants we have issues with. It's these ones with more melanin in their skin. It's these ones from the Middle East. They're the ones that are really causing. Oh, it's okay. So those migrants are okay, and then you just drag them in, and then you've got, like I put in my tweet, a rally of neo-Nazis eventually.
The other thing that I would say is that there's historical pointers of how to deal with the movement like this. And I'm talking about Oswald Mosley in the UK. He did several rallies over the years. Many of them were met by violence, by people that were going to stand up with him. My favourite is, I think, the people of Manchester hit him with a brick halfway through a speech. That is how this stuff needs to be combated. And when people say that violence is never the answer, sometimes violence is the answer. These guys are going to use it as a tool for their movement. They expect people not to counter them.
I'm not sure if it's going to be in the last kind of 30 seconds of this, but there's also in one of these stories, either one or this one, talks about his connection to the Christchurch massacre as well. So, this dude's got form in other areas.
But calls for the government to revoke the white supremacist citizenship and deport him back here are growing, with more than 53,000 people signing this petition in a matter of days. Australian deportation rules mean he could be sent back to New Zealand after facing criminal charges.
We will not be silenced by hate. Deport him, We don't need him here.
Sewell was due back in court today after a night behind bars, the cases against him mounting, along with pressure to boot him out of the country.
He's also very much Billy Big Nuts when he's got all his mates behind him, doesn't he? That's how the other side of people like this who think that they've got the world behind them. Yeah, so it didn't say that, but in the One News story, it talked about his connection to Tarrant, and that they said he invited him to a group 2 years earlier. I wasn't clear whether it was Tarrant who invited him or him who invited him, but there's a connection there to some of the best people in the world. There you go, Chewie. That's us.
I want to say 2 points here. The call to deport him, and the similar calls to deport the Christchurch shooter. I'm not even going to say his name. It's important for friendly nations like Australia and New Zealand to reach a compromise, because diplomacy is important. So I'm going to solve this. I'm going to solve both things in one hit, Pat. Brace yourself.
Right.
This is
I'm
diplomacy, Chewie style.
I'm ready.
We compromise. We deport them halfway.
I think someone says that.
We deport them halfway. We just drop them halfway between the two countries. That let nature sort it out. The other thing I'm going to do,
meet them halfway.
yeah, absolutely. And just because this is a fun thing to talk about, I talk about people standing up to Oswald Mosley in the hilariously named British Union of Fascists. Liverpool, 1937. During a speech, Mosley was hit with a large stone and fell, and mounted police charged the crowd. Oh. The crowd of people that had come to counter the fascists. Police on the fascist side, just a note. Then the absolutely fantastic Battle of Cable Street, where the British Union of Fascists were going to march through a primarily Jewish immigrant part of London in the East End. It was met with organised resistance from the people that lived in those neighbourhoods, Jews and communists. And again, the police had the backs of the fascists. In Manchester in 1962, Mosley's march was attacked again by anti-fascists, forcing him to call it off. Dalston, 1962. Upon arriving for a meeting, a crowd shouted, "Down was Mosley," and he was beaten, and then the meeting was called off. East London, 1962. Mosley and his followers were attacked by locals, leading to a collapse of his meeting. Now, in all of these cases, it's not the police that are stopping the fascists. It is the people that know what these movements have led to, that know their history, and importantly, know what the Nazis said about it. They famously said if people knew and stood up to us, we wouldn't have been able to achieve what we did.